So
it should not be a child.
when Marco gets
It
back
also
and
should not be a
explains
child.
this, what happens?
It should be part of our one of our network people, but who is okay being paid to spend time in jail.
Ooh,
Sure.
can it be that guy that we're framing? It could be a double blind, like, what a twist. We sent you in to negotiate and to be arrested.
That doesn't seem good though.
No, because we need the negotiations to go well. That's the problem. Like,
Will, Ptolemy, do you feel comfortable going in and...
I've gone from
They will only
disliking
meet
this
at the
whole
station.
thing to absolutely hating it. My character.
Okay, so
Because now we're like cooperating with the police.
I think what we should do here is assume that this meeting with the Bluecoats is
Enemy of an enemy.
going to go okay.
No, they're never my friend.
I'm going to have whoever goes to the meeting make a single roll to see if they're going to backstab you or not. So they'll know. But I think what we should do here is move forward to the score, and your plan can be you're going to set a trap with the Bluecoats for Ulf. Right?
Cool.
But
You need to kill him.
yeah, that's the problem. You're going to kill him.
Yeah.
So what's the end game here? How is this plan playing out?
We're gonna set a trap for him.
I'm-
And I don't know.
Like you can convince the Bluecoats to help you out.
Mhm.
I just want to see how much on their side you are. That's what we'll make the roll for. So maybe we should make that first. So who's going to the meeting?
it's probably me.
Okay, so
So
Ptolemy
if-
shows up.
Can I clarify
Do I
something?
show up?
We just off him in prison.
Do I show up as somebody other than myself?
Yeah, if you want to.
Were we,
Yeah, off him in prison. Like, have someone be like, "This guy let a mummy out."
Anyway,
The mummy will off him in prison. We'll pay the mummy.
were we planning to frame Arkady, or were we planning to convince him to take the fall as part of
I was gonna
his
frame him.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, because if we were...
assume that he set us up with the raids.
Okay, because if it wasn't a frame job and we were just paying him or coercing him to do it, this could all be part of the whole thing where he not only goes in and negotiates in good faith for us, but also offers himself up as like a collar for the Bluecoats, so these guys also have like a win right up front on the table.
That's gonna be a really hard sell to RK.
Okay, no, that's why I was asking, because
Okay.
I didn't know if we were doing
Yeah.
a frame job or if he was going to be part
As far
of
as we're concerned, he does not really want to be near us right now.
Yeah.
Because he thought we were dead.
Okay, so yeah, so I think you walk in there around 6 into the Bluecoat station at the docks.
I'm definitely not myself. I'm somebody else.
Who are you? Like, what does the audience see?
Well, okay, so the audience... Okay. Should I pick somebody that is in the context of the world? I should just pick an original person.
Yeah, I'm just asking you to describe what you
Yeah,
look like.
you basically see, like, a blonde, kind of like a little bit taller, like a little bit buffer, sort of guy with the, perfect 5 o'clock shadow.
You could go as like
Okay.
a Skolander who's like, this guy needs to be taken down. He's crazy.
And I just kind of walk with a bit of a swagger, kind of like a. You've seen Karate Kid?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like what's his name from the Cobra Kai's.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
okay. So you're the protagonist of the story.
Oh, certainly I'm the protagonist.
Anyway.
So you want them to already hate you as soon as you show up
Yeah.
because you have douchebag face.
No, okay. So you show up at the Bluecoat station around 6 o'clock, and you come in, and it's a Bluecoats office station. So it's like this, especially in the docks. It's basically just this one tall guard tower they can watch things from, and then the station itself and the holding cells are built into the city below, into the city streets below. So you walk into like the main floor of the station, and there'd be like stairs heading down to the cells. But there's like a desk there, and like the sergeant's behind it. And he sees you walking, and he goes, "Yeah, evening.
Evening,
What can I do for you?"
Gregory. Love song. I know it's a weird last name, but you gotta roll with what you got.
Officer Peabody, how can I help you?
Oh, Peabody, certainly. I was informed by one of my men.
I'm surprised they didn't use
I was informed by one of my men that you've been getting hassled by this Ulf Ironborn. I've heard
There's been a problem.
I've heard bits and pieces. He controls the docks, pushes your men around.
Oh, hey, Bluecoats from the docks.
Oh,
That's
well,
not what I've...
I mean, that's not the impression that I got. But you know, I'm not. I don't know much about him. So
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you
yeah. Look.
whatever you guys say.
I know who you are. All right, I know why you're here. I'm gonna go get the sergeant and talk this out.
Okay, get your man.
So he heads into another room and like you hear him talking with
Wait,
somebody.
can I ask something?
Yeah.
Is this like the central station?
No, there is a blue coat station in every ward in the city. The
okay.
central station is in Whitecrown.
Okay, never mind.
Would it be in Whitecrown?
No, that would make sense. It would be in like that would not
The
make
city hall
sense.
area?
It would be in
Charter Hall, probably.
It'd be in Charter Hall. Like that would be like all the way over there. It'd be so out of the way.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, also
You'd
the
want it to
Imperial
be
military
central,
has a
yeah.
presence over there. Okay,
Okay, never mind.
so
Not of interest.
So he goes up. You hear him talking to this thing, and he like pokes his head around the doorway. And he's like, "Sergeant's in the back.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, Mr. Love."
Certainly,
Love song.
love song. Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Love.
So you head back there. The sergeant of this station is a thinner gentleman. He has kind of like wispy black hair that's like kind of shaved down a bit, like a straight cut. His name is Sergeant Grimes, and he kind of like sits behind the desk. Has his hands folded. Everything on his desk is super neat and orderly. Like even the files and papers and stuff like that. Everything's 100% in order, efficient. And as you come in, he's like, "Good afternoon.
Yes,
It's a pleasure to meet you. Have a seat."
I have a seat. I kind of recline a little bit. You know, I do some spreading.
He looks a little detested at your display. He says, "My name is Sergeant Grimes. I'm the head of the Blue Coats for the Docks Division. I oversee all the operations.
Yeah. Tell me more.
You may believe that there's not a lot of importance to the docks, but believe you me, despite what the other Blue Coat stations think, the docks are actually one of the most important parts of this city. We watch over most of the shipping and transference that happens going in and out of Doskvol, and we especially take great pains to guard the Leviathan under ships. So we're actually responsible partially for keeping the city on. You know, keeping the city turned on."
Well, if Ulf Ironborn is, you know, in any way, you know, messing up things over at the
Ulf
docks, then
Ironborn is a nuisance, one which we can deal with ourselves, but my men have told me that your group has a very interesting offer for us.
you know, how much of a nuisance he is to you, he's probably 3 or 4 times as much of a nuisance to us. And I just gotta say, we'll just take care of the problem if you need us.
Yes, I'm afraid I'll need details. You see, there is a little matter of us being the arm of the law in this city that carries with it a certain code of conduct, a list of rules and regulations to make sure that the citizenry don't just fly off the handle and start killing each other. Well, not more than they do already anyway.
I didn't really think through of like what our actual plan of getting rid of him was, though. So
So we're trying to
we want to
we're trying to
bring
discuss
him
that.
in,
you know,
or
Well, let's flash back here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna figure out what the plan is, and
Yeah.
we're gonna flash forward and make this roll
Mhm.
and see how much the Blue Coats are gonna operate with.
okay.
So what's the plan?
They're going to be more game for working with us to bring him in than they will be for us to help us kill him.
Oh, they're 100% against you guys killing him. Yes.
So I think we should try and kill him once we've captured him together, and then get away.
And they get away from the Blue Coats all.
Or make it look like an accident.
How do we make it look like an accident?
I feel like that if we could pull it off,
Yeah,
the
if
best plan. Oh,
I have.
a ghost attack is an accident.
a ghost attack is an accident, and Arthur likes nothing more than ghost attacks because they're his go-to fighting style.
It's like our
But-
signature move.
But
I can talk to ghosts.
we like it.
I
We like us our ghosts. But
in the chaos. I could
ideally,
slit his throat.
if we can pull it off, is that based on my extensive studies of terrorist attacks and terrorism in the history of the world, it is pretty much well
Extensive
known
studies.
that basically terrorists never let themselves be captured alive.
Mm-hmm.
And takedowns almost always turn out to be fatal for the target.
Mm-hmm.
So it would not be that unusual
He didn't
if
kill
something
himself.
went horribly wrong. We're not hoping that he'll kill himself. We're just hoping that something typically horribly bad happens in
Yeah.
this takedown, just like every other takedown.
Mhm.
And it would be even more beneficial if it went south in such a way that the Blue Coats were involved, so that they would also want to cover up their own culpability in a botched operation.
So
I have an
how are you gonna
idea.
make that
I have an
happen?
idea. So they said he's a nuisance. What you need to do is make it seem like there's urgency for him, like he's planning something devastating, scare them into like thinking they need to take him in.
Yeah.
And then basically like be like, okay, so we could have a plan to take him down. You have to understand that being who he is, you know, ideally, of course, we don't want him to get killed, but you have to consider the fact that he might not want to come quietly.
Yeah. So basically, our approach is I'm going to talk with this police sergeant
Convince him.
and get him to be like, we're going to bring him in because he's planning something bad. And then once we actually do get into it,
Oh no, it goes wrong.
oh no. Okay. So that's the approach.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what's the track though that you're setting for Ulf?
Well, so his territory is the docks,
Mm-hmm.
and if I get some information from the Bluecoats about why he is all about the docks, did he just say something about?
It's mostly because the docks, because the Skovlanders came in from the sea. That was kind of where a lot of the refugees settled in the city. So he's with his people.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of happened that way. There's no specific reason he's there.
Oh, so the docks have nothing to do with like his enterprise of
No, his enterprise mostly is rallying people around him and doing things like he did last night, where he saves skulls from the evil Doskvol.
What about this? What if I'm assuming the refuge? Oh god, this is such like a dark thought. Oh, this is like makes me feel really bad to like even have this planned, like just me as a person. So like I'm assuming that there's like camps.
Yeah.
What if you like sent out plans that they're evicting the camps and made this publicly known and had a time, and then he would show up because he's not going to let them evict the camps.
The camps, the refugees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely draw him out. There's a couple of buildings that a lot of refugees hole up in.
That's a good idea.
It could be a sense of where the word gets spread that it hasn't been official yet, but they're going to use some sort of
They're going out to post notices or something.
yeah to drive people out. That could
To convince people to leave voluntarily before they go do it.
That is an idea
This in real life.
that we don't necessarily need to do though.
Okay.
If we have another idea. I mean, it's an
Okay.
idea.
I have no problem doing that in the game. It's just like for me personally,
in like
it makes me feel
out
very
of game.
bad.
Yeah, that's a kind of like fuck that. You're laughing like that isn't like a messed up thing to do.
You're like talking about killing a person, but you're not okay with, I don't know, it's
like
fun.
tricking people
Yeah,
about
yeah,
whether
yeah.
or not there's an eviction.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, typical.
Yeah, but we don't have anything else the refugees.
So,
I have nothing to reference. I've never had in a situation involving killing people.
That's true. You do have more of a reference for that one.
for those of us who have read a lot about terrorism and attacks and like the history of human beings, my proposal is during the arrest, people who are skilled at surreptitious action, like Marco, like trigger an attack on the Bluecoats as if he were part of the refugee resistance to try to prevent their leader from being captured.
Oh god, that could get
This
so many
would
people
trigger
killed.
violence.
Mm-hmm.
Once violence ensues, there is chaos. Once chaos ensues, bad things could happen.
Anything
Once
could
bad
happen.
things happen, mission
A
accomplished.
lot of innocent people will get killed, and then there'll be like a persecution of all this.
I don't know if I'm okay with that.
You know what happens when innocent people are killed? Ghosts.
Okay, literally.
Actually, no, because the spirit wardens will do their job.
I kind
Oh,
of,
but they don't get all of them.
Yeah,
That's why there's so many ghosts.
I kind of just want to fall back on this idea of, if I say that he's responsible for this mummy being released out into the thing, that the Bluecoats would feel like, oh man, if we bring this guy in, like,
We're gonna be heroes. We
We're
won't
gonna
be
be
dox people
heroes.
anymore.
You're gonna have to spend it a little bit because they would, if they're too scared of it, they might just be like, sounds more like a spirit warden issue, you know. But
well, okay,
The spirit wardens
well, the
think
spirit
they're all
wardens-
that.
the spin is
Their
that
issue is to deal with the mummy. It's up to the Bluecoats to deal with the
deal with
person.
Ulf. Okay, yeah.
the spin is that basically the spirit warden
And have
wouldn't
they,
even probably
have they heard about the mummy like going around town and doing stuff? Has
Not
the
yet.
mummy
It
been-
hasn't been
I'm-
long enough.
I'm propagating
But,
that information
You would
everywhere I
imagine
go.
that it's gonna happen shortly.
It's like, did I
So-
hear about a mummy?
This might be something where they're just like, okay. And then a couple days later, after whatever happens with Wolf happens, the mummy will show up and they'll be like, oh, geez, it's a good thing we got on that. Like,
Yeah. Should we give them details about the mummy?
No,
Oh, really?
because
we want to sell it like we know about this mummy. This is the real deal.
Yeah.
But if we
It's an
divulge,
ancient spirit.
if we divulge too much information, then it's gonna get it back to us that
That's-
we're actually the ones that released this
yeah.
mummy into the world.
yeah, that's so
So-
risky.
I want to point out that there are not a whole lot of mummies running around, so I don't think that divulging information about the mummy, insofar as what we're talking about, it's
just
a
like
problem.
name and like
Because if we say, because you're trying to convince them, right, and it hasn't really gotten out, so you
they're just like
should,
what you
So
can
I-
just
tell
say
the
he
narrative,
released
like-
a mummy. Like
yeah,
we've
like-
never heard of mummies rampaging around. And like
right, you
no,
need
it's
to be
an
able to
ancient
say-
spirit.
Yes.
It's this guy.
remember that theft, remember that incident with the.
But does anybody actually know about that theft?
Well, it was a real crime.
They would know.
Right.
There's been an
They've heard of
investigation.
a report that
Yeah.
there is
So-
a missing mummy.
There's a clock I started where the Aruvians are going to get sick and tired of the Akrosian not handling the problem.
Yeah,
And
remember we were gonna offer our own services to help them recover the mummy.
Yeah,
that was
that's
part
right,
of the
that's
plan.
right.
So,
So-
That was an idea.
the thing is that it's only been a couple of days, so it hasn't really had time to root itself in the city yet, but pretty soon there's going to be people talking about
The
like,
fact that we know that the mummy's missing
yeah.
when they haven't released that information.
You could pull that. Yeah, that would totally
Yeah, as
Yeah.
as opposed to this whole thing about involving extra people and inciting chaos, I feel like there's going to be enough of a struggle of just the act of getting him that's
Yeah, but we
don't
need,
need
we need a reason for him to show up.
Yeah, what's the actual trap?
That's what I'm saying. That's
Well,
why I was making
I
my
mean,
recommendation.
publicizing that there will be an eviction that may or may that probably wouldn't even be true, but like
Yeah.
just
No.
to draw him out, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, I think that's the best plan we've had so
Okay,
far.
okay.
Unless anybody has any objections. or
Unless we
thinks
want
I
to
missed
kill
something.
lots of people.
Now,
whatever doesn't get
I
people
don't
killed.
exactly want to inspire a riot among the refugees.
I mean, killing
at the
Ulf
same time,
killing Ulf is going to inspire a riot no matter what, right?
that's up to them
What
if
I
they want to
said.
riot. Like, I don't want to
Okay,
hurt the refugees.
do I just like
but they can riot if they
abandon
want.
everything?
No, you don't.
Like,
You've made these choices and you just live with them.
That's life. That's life, Ptolemy.
So
That's
So,
godhood.
here's
Let's
the
proceed
plan.
to godhood.
I know.
here's the
It's
plan we have so
murdering
far.
innocents.
You guys
You
are
want to be a
going.
god, you have to
You
murder
guys are
some
going
people.
to fake an eviction of the Skovlander refugees
Yep.
from some of their buildings.
That's
That's going to get
paperwork.
Ulf to
That's
show
a lot.
up with the bluecoats there. They're
I
going
don't
to
like it.
arrest him.
For terrorism.
You're going to turncoat the bluecoats
And murder
and
him.
murder him, and then get away before the bluecoats or any of the refugees can get their hands on you.
We're gonna make it.
No,
We're
no,
gonna make
we're
it. We're
gonna
gonna make
murder
it
him with
look like
ghosts.
something gone wrong.
With ghosts. Oh, that's right. With
Yeah,
ghosts.
that's
with
gonna be a
ghosts.
lot easier to
I
do.
want to point out.
So there'll still be
when we get,
total chaos, but and
if
people
we
die
were
with
ever
it,
at the
but-
point where this comes up in the actual group discussion, I will point out to everyone that I'm not entirely certain we can murder him with ghosts.
how so?
You see, did you tell us about the scar?
yes.
Okay.
But you
Remember
don't
in
you
your
don't see it, so you have
No, not your star. What's her face?
Hers
It's
is
Yeah.
a scar.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
I
You told us about
I
it.
bring that
So-
up.
Okay, good. Remember that story you told us about the lady's scar and the
Yeah.
odd ancient weapon that gave it to her permanently? I should tell you about something I noticed while you were shaking down that bartender fellow. I went over to these tenements where there were some ghosts, and I thought that they were the ghosts of the folks that Ulf might have killed so that they would want to turn on him. It turns out these are not. These are ghosts of old Skov warriors guarding something hidden in a tenement. And if it is true what your friend said, and his ancestors had a weapon that was able to permanently scar a creature of such power, I think he may have powerful whispers working for him who are able to bind ghosts to his own. What I'm saying is that I don't think
They
my
might
ghosts
not
are as
turn on you.
strong as his ghosts.
At least you could generate
Interesting.
the chaos.
In
and
fact,
agitation.
I got this really
I don't know
cool
if that's
soul
related
slice.
to him though.
More scar. I'm a little worried that if I summon
I'm
ghosts,
so
his
discouraged
ghosts will turn on
about
us.
everything. There's like no scenario that doesn't like have me like I'm not down. So
Doesn't Marco have that whole poison blowgun dark power? Or what? Aren't you
What?
like a stealthy killer? Don't you have
No,
like
it's a
long
stealthy
distance?
I'm a
robber.
stealthy robber. More than a killer. I have skirmish as far as that takes me.
I keep feeling like
But
I'm
not
misunderstanding Marco's specialization because I keep
Well,
thinking
see,
aren't you
Marco
just-
is the master thief.
Is skirmish like an assassination, like one on one, toe to toe?
If you were sneaking, yeah. So if
It's-
you
it's
were
like-
sneak
it's like
attacking
high
somebody,
dex.
I'd say it was prowl.
Sneak attack is proud.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Oh, see, I thought it was finesse. Like,
Well,
like
yeah. If
bowgunning.
I'm
It could be any of those.
if I'm
Prowl
looking to
definitely
like
works.
jump into a fray, slice one guy's throat,
Skirmish.
and run away.
Absolutely skirmish.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's what I want.
But if it's
That's
a
what I want to
sneak
do.
attack where you like
Oh.
jump from behind and then run, prowl.
Oh, that would work too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that too.
I'm okay
Yeah,
with that.
What you're doing in the fiction determines what actions you're using.
Unless he has
Ptolemy
like,
should
weird
dress you up as a
immortal powers.
refugee, and then you go and cut his throat.
Oh,
I could
my
even like
God.
jump from a building, use my
I wanna be
feet
a part
of
of this.
Oh, that's right. You
thing
can do
to just
three-story
fall from
acrobatic
4 stories and
assassination.
just onto it.
Oh my gosh, that would be like the
That would
Batman
be
assassination.
incredible.
Well, I'm sorry if this is making you uncomfortable. I didn't
Oh,
think
yeah.
it would make you this uncomfortable.
Make him a
And
back
then
cook.
ghost bail and
Yes.
run away.
It's like let's see how many things we could just throw
Oh, I love
out the
this.
window.
Fucking.
Okay, so we
I
need to
think
move
that
forward
actually
though.
is a good idea
We gotta
to
move
dress
forward.
you up as one. I really do.
As one of the refugees?
I
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh!
Definitely,
'Cause
definitely.
how awesome would that be?
Ooh! Oh, it's evil.
Because
Yeah.
then the
Well, it
refugees
makes
will
most
know that
sense.
there's
It does. It
He'll
does.
let
There's a
them
faction
near him. He'll
within
be like,
who
he'll be
hates
like
him.
trying to comfort them.
It will
Yeah.
tear them apart.
Yeah.
It'll start a war though, and it'll call like the
A civil
innocent,
war.
innocent people dying.
Ghosts.
I don't think there is any way.
It's
I
like
don't
when
think there
Envy
is-
shot
Oh,
his
guys,
fallen
there- guys,
child.
It is.
guys.
Yes,
exactly. That.
exactly.
Guys, there is no way. Wait, yeah. Did you like base this on that?
Yeah,
No, I didn't.
What the fuck is this?
That's
about?
what we're doing. We're basing
The
that on
game
this.
gives me these hooks. All right,
Okay.
yeah.
Anyways, I think
I-
that no matter
I
what,
aspire to
no
be a
matter what
homunculus.
we do, there are going to be
Oh.
the Skolander refugees are going to
Agreed.
get fucked. It doesn't matter. Just by the nature of what needs to happen for this to progress, they will get like fucked over.
He's totally Envy.
He's gonna totally turn his
He's
child
Envy.
into a
I'm
human.
Greed.
You're
No,
right.
he's gonna totally
Oh,
turn his
gosh,
child into a
dang it.
chimera. He's gonna be the one who ends up
This
turning
is-
his daughter
this
into
is
a
awesome.
chimera. Because that's where he's going right now.
That is not at all what I meant to
I
do.
don't like it.
What's going to happen?
That's just what we've like turned
So-
our characters
It's
into.
okay, Will. You're just your character.
I don't like it.
Does it make you feel icky?
You should have.
Yes.
You should have known when you start your path to godhood that there would be some.
It's not
consequences.
godhood. It's literally like
It's
what I'm
just
already doing.
Cataclysm magic.
Jesus Christ.
So what
That's
All I
our plan.
wanted- All I wanted to do was open the Ark of the
are you?
Covenant.
Are like? I'm seriously like. Is this seriously making you uncomfortable? Do we need to stop? Like,
No.
Okay.
What I want to do is to find some sort of way to do this that doesn't explicitly have us like directly like causing a riot.
It's if he gets killed, they will riot. They will think it is whoever they want to believe it is. Even if it's done in secret, they will riot because they'll believe what they want to believe.
But I'm saying that like we will have been the source of the riot, I guess.
But they don't know who we are.
But
he
that
will
doesn't
know.
mean that we
He won't
we
be
know
able
we
to
know who
sleep.
we are.
Yeah, your point is you don't want to feel like you have the blood of all these people on your head as a result of it.
Literally, the only
Right.
people that have died so far have been the people that attacked us out in the outside place.
Or inappropriately touched me.
Well, I wasn't around for.
Oh, okay.
So
And he's not really dead. He's just kind of.
He's
No.
possessed.
I think this is our best plan.